Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we are continuing our study of this book, The Perfection of Yoga. And today we are on chapter 5. We have seen chapter 1, Arjuna rejects the meditational yoga system. Prabhupada states very convincing reasons why, because it's just not very practical in this age. Chapter 2 speaks about what actual yoga is to connect with the Supreme Lord. Chapter 3 mentions how the purpose of yoga is actually to link with the Supreme or to always remember the Supreme. Bhakti yoga is that process by which one works constantly in remembrance of the Supreme. The previous session, chapter 4, we saw how yoga is a perfect means of actually for controlling body and mind. And Bhakti yoga controls the mind and body supremely, perfectly, better than even the meditational process. Prabhupada draws a comparison between both. And today, chapter 5, we're going to see how yoga as freedom from duality and designation. So this is very interesting and important. So let us begin. Yoga as freedom from duality. Duality means dvanda, like good, bad, hot, cold, and designation. Designation means upadhi, dvanda and upadhi. Upadhi means you have some designation. Sometimes we think ourselves to be Indian, or we think ourselves to be male, female, and so on. These designations are there, right? So Prabhupada starts. This material world is a world of duality, dvanda. At one moment, we are subjected to the heat of the summer season, and at the next moment, the cold of winter. Or at one moment, we are happy, and the next moment, we are distressed. At one moment, honored, and the next, dishonored. In the material world of duality, it is impossible to understand one thing without understanding its opposite. So until and unless we have actually experienced cold, we do not know what is heat, right? Both are paraspara, both are actually interdependent on each other, the two opposites. To understand one thing, we have to experience the other. It is not possible to understand what honor is unless I understand dishonor. Similarly, I cannot understand what misery is if I have never tasted happiness. Nor can I understand what happiness is unless I have tasted misery. One has to transcend such dualities. But as long as the body is there, these dualities will also be here. So this material world is painful because of this dvanda. At every moment, there's a flux, right? Every moment we are thrown, like Prabhupada says, kicks of Maya. Maya is like playing football, you know. If you watch a football match or any kind of sport which involves some ball or something, the ball is thrown from here to there, to here, to there, kicked here, thrown there, and just tossed around. So similarly, the Jivatma is tossed from one situation to another situation, experiencing this, experiencing that, and we become so frustrated. But factually, all the experiences are due to the body only. So that's why Prabhupada says we have to learn to transcend such dualities. Because even happiness will give us sadness. Why? Because happiness will not last. Because you've tasted happiness, you know you're going to lose it. That gives you suffering. And suffering gives you suffering anyways. So both dvanda, both kinds of extremities, good or bad, hot or cold, happy or not happy, it's all actually suffering. So therefore, Prabhupada says transcend such dualities, but as long as the body is there, dualities will also be there, because anything material will have dualities. Insofar as one strives to get out of bodily conceptions, not out of the body, but of bodily conception. So one may have a body, but one can rise above the bodily conception. One may not be disturbed by hot and cold, or one may not be disturbed by honor or dishonor. Like that, Prabhupada is saying that we should learn to rise beyond bodily conceptions. So one has to learn to tolerate, Prabhupada continues, such dualities. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna informs Arjuna that the duality of distress and happiness is due to the body alone. So here's the verse which comes in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 14th verse. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agamapayino nityastam stitikshashva bharata. Very important verse. Here Krishna is telling Arjuna that matra sparshastu kaunteya. Everything we experience in this world, good, bad, hot, cold, is only due to matra sparshas, touching the sense objects. And because of that, we are experiencing shita. Shita means coldness. And Ushna means heat. Sukha, happiness. Dukkha, we are experiencing all sadness. But all these things, agamana, they come. And apayinu, they will go also. Anityas, they are not eternal. So therefore, don't take it too seriously. Right? Tam stitikshashva bharata. Please just tolerate. O Bharata, O son of Kunti. So this, whole mirage or illusion of happiness, distress is everything has to do with the mind coming in touch with sense object. Let's say a small example. For example, you have ice cream. Everyone loves ice cream. But let's say you have a horrible toothache or headache or stomach ache, and you're just not feeling like the mood for it. And when you see ice cream, you're not even interested in it. What happened? Other times, if you'd seen ice cream, you would love it. Might eat one or two. But when you're not feeling well, when you're not in the mood, when you're feeling very down, then when you look at ice cream, you just don't want it. Why? Has the ice cream changed? No. But our perception of that condition has changed because the mind is the one that's perceiving. So factually, there is no happiness in the ice cream. Ice cream is not the sense of source of happiness. Ice cream is just a dead material thing. It is the mind's perception, conception of the object that creates happiness and distress. Therefore, happiness, distress, and whatever, it is just the perception of the mind. Right? So this is the amazing illusion of life. There is no happiness in the sense objects. Ice cream is not the sense of source of happiness. It is just a dead thing, but it's our perception of it. So here Prabhupada said, it is like a skin disease or a skin itch. Because there is itching, one should not be mad after it to scratch it. Here Prabhupada is talking about tolerate. So sometimes maybe it's a fasting day and we are looking at some food and we are feeling, oh, I need to drink, I need to eat, I must, if not, I will die. Right? But actually it never happens. We know no one is going to die. Right? But we feel like that. So there's an itch. In Hindi, itcha means desire. In English, itch means an itch. So itch, in one sense, there's an itch, whether it's a desire or whatever, there's an itch. And one should not scratch the itch. One should learn to tolerate. So similarly, these desires will come up. These dualities will always come up. One moment you'll be honored, the next moment you'll be dishonored. You just have to tolerate it. Another example is anyone who has experienced dishonor, right? Then you know that today 100 people will just spit in your face, talk bad about you. So when tomorrow someone speaks glory, good about you, oh wow, you're such a this and this person, you know it's not going to last. He is just saying, he or she is just saying this now. Tomorrow when something happens, they will change their words, right? So we don't take it too seriously because we know it's not going to last. Anityas. Agama, apayino, anityas. So therefore, Prabhupada is saying we should not go mad or give up our duty just because of mosquito bites us. So all these dualities there in life will come. Hot, cold, honor, dishonor, good, bad, nice, not so nice, likes, dislikes, everything will come. But we should remember our duty. Our duty is Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada compares this with mosquitoes. All these dualities in this material world are like mosquitoes. They come, they they irritate you, they bite you, and like don't take it seriously. So therefore, this verse in Bhagavad Gita is very powerful. If you like, you can remember this. Second chapter, 14th verse. Tam stitikshashva bharata. So our problem in life, why we are facing a lot of problem is we take this material life filled with dvanda, filled with dualities too seriously. We take the hot too seriously. We take the cold too seriously. We take the honor too seriously. We take the dishonor too seriously. We take the good too seriously. We take the bad too seriously. Factually, everything is coming, agama, and everything will go, apayam, because everything is anityas. What we have to do? Titikshashva. One should learn to just tolerate. It's a beautiful, most powerful instruction in Bhagavad Gita. Right? Then Prabhupada continues to say, there are so many dualities one has to tolerate. But if the mind is fixed in Krishna consciousness, all these dualities will seem insignificant. So people who cannot realize these dualities, they fight against these dualities, they suffer. For example, someone is living in life, maybe newly married couple, right? And they're saying, wow, the whole world is ahead of us. And let's say tomorrow something happens to their spouse. And they'll be like, oh, what is this? Yesterday I was so happy, today I'm sad. That's the nature of this material world. Nobody is going to last. Nothing is going to last. No object is the sense of enjoyment. It's perception. Imagine again an example of a newly married couple. They bought a new big bungalow, 5-story building house, and they're living happily. And husband and wife thinking that, wow, we are now homemakers. And 5 years, 10 years down the line, maybe the husband comes to know that for the past 3 years, my wife has been cheating on me. And then he'll look at the house and say, what is the point of building this big house? So that same house, which was a source of enjoyment, becomes a source of distress. Why? Because the house is not, it's the mind's perception of the objects. Therefore, all these things will come up in life. One has to focus on one's duty, which is Krishna consciousness. Birth, death, happiness, distress, everything will come. But one has to learn to be steadfast in Krishna consciousness. How? Next discussion Prabhupada brings about. How is it that one can tolerate such dualities? It sounds so difficult. It is possible. Bhagavad Gita says, Gyana vigyana triptatma kutasto vijitendriyaha yukta iti uchate yogi sama lostrashma kanchanaha. Beautiful verse. Huh? This is the 8th verse of the 6th chapter. A person is said to be established in self-realization, yoga, and is called a yogi, mystic, when he is fully satisfied, triptatma, by virtue of acquired knowledge and realization. How does one become satisfied in life? Through jnana and vigyana, through knowledge and realized knowledge. When one learns about the reality of this world, just like just now we discussed all these realities of dualities, the realities of dualities, right? This knowledge helps us to rise above. That is just jnana. But when you have vigyana, when you actually experience it, understand it, then you go even higher. When then actually one can become triptatma. One understands that if you have it, you make the best out of it. But if you don't have it, you don't crave for it. Sometimes you're fortunate in life, you're going and someone says, hey, would you like an ice cream? And you feel like, yeah, I'm in the position I can take ice cream. Okay, let me have ice cream. And some other time while walking, you will want ice cream, but you may not get it. Fine, it's okay, leave it, relax. Anyone's going to die? No, isn't it? So learn to tolerate. So this jnana and vigyana helps us to become tripta atma. Tripta atma, satisfied person. And satisfaction is more powerful than happiness. Happiness means what? Is dependent on some object. And when that object is gone, or some situation is gone, then happiness goes away. Sadness comes. But satisfaction is a person who's always peaceful in any situation. Therefore, satisfaction is more powerful than happiness. Kutashtaha, one becomes very well situated. And ajitendriya, vijitendriya, he conquers his senses. So here Prabhupada writes, such a person is situated in transcendence, kutastha, and is self-control, vijitendriya. He sees everything, whether a pebble, stone, or gold, as the same. It's so amazing, you know. Pebble and stone, you're like, okay, fine. But gold, imagine a person walking by and sees gold. And now he is a self-satisfied person. So he says, I have no need for gold. Why? I have no want for anything. Do I need food? I have food. Do I need shelter? I have shelter. Do I need clothes? I have clothes. How much more you want? Because there's no greed. So when the person looks at a stone or a gold, he feels that I have no use for this now, right? Just like, if you sometimes see a person who haven't eaten everything, Hindi we say, pet bhar ke khaya, right? Stomach, eat to his fullness. And then suddenly someone comes and brings him something and he says, no, I'm done. So, oh, you're so detached. You're so renounced. I'm bringing the best item for you. No, I'm done. Why? Because the stomach is full. So similarly, if our hearts become full, how? Through jnana vigyana, through understanding and realizing this world, practical realization of what we have seen and read, right? Then we can rise above these dualities to the point that one can see gold and stone the same. Because I have no utility, I do not even bother it. It's for me, it's just like a stone in the street. Jnana means theoretical knowledge and Vigyana refers to practical knowledge. For instance, a science student has to study theoretical scientific conceptions as well as applied science. Theoretical knowledge alone will not help. Right? Just knowing alone will not help. One has to experience this. And when one experiences this, one should be able to relate. Oh, wait. This is what I've heard. Oh, wait, this is what I read in Bhagavad Gita. Right? One has to be able to apply his knowledge. That is what is meant by applying. As many people read a lot, but they don't get realization. Sometimes we should pray to the Lord, my Lord, please give me some understanding to whatever I'm teaching or hearing or reading. I need to understand this. Because many people just go through life having read, having memorized, but they don't experience it. Or they don't realize they're experiencing it. Similarly, in yoga, one should have not only theoretical knowledge, but practical knowledge. Simply understanding I am not this body and at the same time acting in a nonsensical way will not help. So we are discussing I am not this body, but we should actually strive to come to the understanding that seriously I am not this body, right? An old person can understand. Old person is feeling so much desire to enjoy, to eat anything, to do anything, to go anywhere. But cannot. They realize that my desires are pushing, but this body is not cooperating. This body, this machine is not working as the way I want it. That means it is not me, right? It's just a machine. Just like sometimes you want to drive fast, but your car is so old, so small. How much fast will it go? So Prabhupada says there are many societies where the members seriously discuss Vedanta philosophy, okay, in India, in the West, while smoking and drinking and enjoying a sensual life. What nonsense is this? You're speaking about Shastras and Vedanta, about the philosophy that we are not this body, but the person is pampering or indulging in the bodily conception. It will not help if one only has knowledge theoretically. This knowledge must be demonstrated. One who truly understands I am not this body will actually reduce his bodily necessities to a minimum. This is the test, Prabhupada saying. Beautiful, huh? This hidden clause. This is a test. A person who has understood that this world cannot offer me anything, this world has nothing to impress me, there is nothing worth to invest in this world, will live in a very minimalistic way. Why? They're not attracted. Oh, a new shirt has come. So what? What are you going to do? What are you going to get from it? Oh, a new pants, a new pair of shoes. So what? You already have your shoes. Enough. They're just to use to go somewhere. There's no need to glorify it. It's not like by wearing these new shoes, you're going to fly, isn't it? When one increases the demands of the body while thinking, I am not this body, then what is the use of that knowledge? Someone who studies and hears, I'm not this body, and later when they wake up in the morning, they have like 50 brands of facial care, right? 50 brands trying to adjust the face and make something. Basic bathing, basic cleanliness, basic. The only makeup we have is tilak, right? Perfect, enough. What is needed? A person can only be satisfied when there is jnana and vigyana side by side. All right. So what we are here attempting to do is some jnana. And for vigyana, we need to pray that when things happen, we at least remember what we have read. Next paragraph, Prabhupada says, when a person is situated on the practical level of spiritual realization, it is to be understood that he is actually situated in yoga. So actually, Vijnana is the real level of yoga. It is not that one should continue to attend yoga classes and yet remain the same throughout his life. Many people, no, they eat meat, they smoke, they drink, and then they just attend weekly yoga classes to be healthy. That's not going to get them anywhere. There must be practical realization, right? By doing yoga, one should understand that it's a machine taking me to somewhere else. Let me just maintain the machine nicely, this body. What is the sign of practical realization? Earlier, Prabhupada told that first point that all the material necessities come down, minimum. Now, Prabhupada says another point. Second point, the mind will be calm and quiet and no longer agitated by the attraction of the material world. Second point, a person who is actually, has practical realization, they will not become enamored by the glaring nature of this material world. New movie comes out. Oh, I've not watched it. New movie, old movie, for the past 20, 30 years, all cinema is the same. Some horror, some adventure, some foolish comedy, some romance, some excitement, some villain, some plot twist. That's it. The people who are acting in the movie themselves are not happy. The people who are acting in the part of the production, the director, the producer, the actor, actresses, everyone have horrible lives. And we are watching a movie thinking that our life will be better, isn't it? It's a big illusion. Right? Thus, self-controlled, one is not attracted by material glitter, and he sees everything, pebbles, stones, or gold, as the same. In the material civilization, so much paraphernalia is produced just to satisfy the senses. Yeah, today's world, so much things, so much companies, enterprises, innovations, gadgets, they all made just to satisfy the senses, sometimes too much. Like if you go shopping, if you go to shopping malls, they have funny things, right? Coaster to put a glass. They have 50 different types of coasters. No, like tea glass, you want to put a teacup, there's a coaster. What's the point in so many different things? You just put a, we have cardboard box, you just put a cardboard box. Utility. So here, right? So one more verse actually I wanted to discuss. Sorry, I skipped it. When Prabhupada is talking about itch, right? That these are just that this bodily disease is like an itch. So there's a nice verse that comes in 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj to Narasimhadev. 7th chapter, 9th, 7th canto, 9th chapter, 45th verse. So Prahlad Maharaj speaks about this itch, this desire, this itch that if you keep scratching it, this material disease is going to increase once you learn to tolerate. So he says this verse, Janmaitu nadi grahamedi sukkam hitucham kandu yanena karayoriva dukka dukkam tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukka baja kandu tivan manasijam vishaheta dhiraha. He says, beginning from yan maitunadi grahamedi sukkam. So those who are engrossed in sensuous life, it begins from sex life and everything else follows after it. This sukkam, this so-called happiness, is tucham, is insignificant. Why? Kandu naeya karayor iva dukka dukkam. It is like the scratching of two hands. Right? It is just like a scratching of two hands. What is the product of it? Dukka dukkam. It creates more miseries. It's already dukkam when there's an itch. It's already suffering. But when you scratch it, it becomes even worse. Rash increases, spreads. Right? Tripyanti neha. It is never going to be satisfied. Right? The rich itch or the rash is just going to keep growing and growing and growing and spreading. Doctors tell them, don't scratch. So, kripana, foolish people, bahudukka bahaja, and they have to suffer in so many different ways. Kandu tivan manasijam, vishaheta dhiraha. Right? That what one can learn from this scratching, that one should just tolerate. Vishaheta here means tolerate. A dhira, a sober person should just learn to tolerate this itch of material life. It's a beautiful verse, right? Forgot to discuss about that. So then Prabhupada is saying that there are a lot of foolish things that are made in this world. So I thought of showing this recent gadgets online, 15 useless tech gadgets. So I thought it's very interesting. I'm sure many of you have seen some videos. Here's some air purifying headphones. People wear headphones with a mask and it keeps shooting purified air in your mouth. Okay. Right. A toilet seat. I mean, the purpose of a toilet is just to relieve yourself. But people think so much in try to making different designs to make the activity of going to toilet exciting. No one wants to live in a toilet, isn't it? So they make an egg shape, different size, all this kind of things. Here's a robot which moves around the house, right? To check. Anyways, here's a banana styled phone, right? The purpose of phone is for communication. Whether it looks like a banana or looks like a watermelon, it does not matter. Because the purpose is to communicate, isn't it? So these are all like foolish inventions. What's the point of this, Smart water bottle. Now there's smart everything. Smart phone, smart watch. So here's smart water bottle. This water bottle can tell you how much water you have drunk. Isn't it? What's so hard? If you have a 1 liter bottle, you filled it up 4 times a day, you have drank 4 liters. But here's a smart and it has some rainbow colors. Why? Does it help your water intake? No. It is just there. Right? So no point in it. Speaker which levitates. Why? You just need to hear sound. You don't care if it's levitating or not. Right? A fan to get wind. But as the fan rotates, you can see the time digitally also. Great. So like this, so many different funny, check this out. Automatic toothbrush, which looks like the shape of your teeth, that you just have to put it one time, all the teeth will brush one shot. So I hope that oral hygiene is improved. Maybe not. But why? What are you going to do? How long does brushing anyways take? Okay, so people try to think of all these kind of things. Right. So this is what Prabhupada says, that in material civilization, so much paraphernalia is produced just to satisfy the senses. So much thought, so much energy, so much resources goes into all this. These things are produced under the banner of material advancement. He who is situated in yoga sees such paraphernalia as just so much rubbish in the street. Very bold words of Prabhupada. Right? So there's no practicality in the world today. Moreover, Prabhupada continues. Sukhran mitrari udasina madhyastha dvesha bandhusu sadhusu apicha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. What we have seen so far, what we have to tolerate, the externals. hot, cold, happiness, distress. These are all externals. But now Prabhupada goes, Bhagavad Gita goes one step further. Now the internals. A person is said to be still further advanced when he regards all, the honest well-wisher, a friend or an enemy, the envious, the pious, the sinner, and those who are indifferent and impartial with an equal mind. All kinds of people dealing with you, you treat them equally. Generally, we are more inclined towards those who are friends and best friends. Two words are used, Suhrit and Mitra. Suhrit means just well-wishers. Mitra means very close, people who actually go out on a limb to help us. So these are the kind of people we keep close. And those who are little who we are envious of or who are envious of us, we push them to the side. But yoga is someone who understands that this person, I and him have a good relationship just because of some compatibility of this physical body. Maybe both of us are South Indians, there's an attraction. Maybe both of us like the same food, there's an attraction. Maybe both of us are coming from the same country, there's an attraction. So, these are all just temporary situations. Therefore, we like one thing and we hate another thing. But factually, everyone is a spirit soul. There are different kinds of friends, Prabhupada writes. There is a Suhrit, who by nature is a well-wisher. There's a kind well-wisher, good-hearted person, Suhrita, and who is always desiring one welfare. Mitra, very close, intimate, refers to an ordinary friend, right? Someone who goes out on a limb to help you. And Udasina is one who is neutral. We have a lot of neutral people who just, no, we don't hate them, nor do we love them. They're just there, they're happy. We need something, they help us. They need something, we help them once in a while, fine. In this material world, someone may be my well-wisher friend or neither friend nor enemy, but neutral. Someone else may serve as a mediator between me and my enemies. And in this verse, he is called a madhyastha, a mediator. One may also see someone as pious and another as sinful, according to his own calculations, right? But when he is situated in transcendence, all of this, friends, enemies, whatsoever, cease to exist. When one becomes actually learned, he does not see any enemy or any friend, because in actuality, no one is my enemy, no one is my friend, no one is my mother, no one is my father, etc. We are simply living entities playing on a stage in the dress of a father, mother, children, friend, enemy, sinner, saint. This is just a big drama, 2024 material world drama. It's like a great drama with so many characters playing their parts. However, on the stage, a person may be an enemy or whatever, but off the stage, all actors are friends. Right? So therefore, in Ramayana, when Lord Ram, after he killed Ravana, and he tells Vibhishana, you please do the final rites, Antim Samskar for your brother. Vibhishana say, what? He's a rapist. He's a murderer. He's such a asura. I will not honor his death also. Throw him in the sea. We don't bother. Rama said, look, Vibhishana, not like that. Okay. Whatever said and done, he was your brother. Now he's dead. All hostilities are over. We do what we have to do, our duty. Just see, being very civil, even after the death of a demon. So this is amazing. That means a person has such a big heart. That's Lord Ramchandra. Similarly, with all these bodies, we are playing on the stage of material nature, and we attach so many designations to one another, right? I may be thinking, Prabhupada says, I may be thinking this is my son, but in actuality, I cannot beget any son. Wow. Right? We have friends, brothers, sisters. So like, why this person is my brother? Why not that person is my brother? That person is my brother because both of us so happen to come out from the same mother. Therefore, we are brothers. And why not that person is my brother? Because the physical DNA doesn't match. But factually, he is a soul just like my brother. He is also a soul. What's the difference between them? Nothing. It's just designation that I have placed. Like if someone is adopted, designation changes. He will identify with that new parents and family as my family. Designation. So Prabhupada says, thinking that this is my son, but factually, one cannot beget any son. It is not possible. At the utmost, I can only beget a body. Wow. Prabhupada says, we're just simply begetting bodies. It is not within any man's power to beget a living entity. One cannot deliver or create a jiva. Merely by sexual intercourse, a living entity cannot be begotten. The living entity must be placed in the emulsification of secretions. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about this, the embryology. This is the 3rd canto, 31st chapter, 1st verse. How the jiva enters the womb. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Kapila Dev is speaking, Supreme Lord. Karmana Daiva Netrena, under the netra, under the eyes of Daiva, right? Under the supervision of the divine, Jantur Dehopapattaye, a living being, a body is created. Shtriya, Pravishta Udaram, right? Enters the womb of the mother. How? Pumsa Reta Kanashraya, due to the particle of semen, having taken shelter in the particle of the semen of the male, is entering the womb of the woman, and then the body starts to develop. Right? So the Atma takes shelter of the particle of semen, Reta Kanashraya. So like this, human beings are simply creating bodies, but until unless the Atma is placed, right, we cannot create any living being. So Prabhupada says, thus all multifarious relationships between bodies are just so much stage play. Beautiful line. Whatever relationship connections that we have, I think this is my brother, I think my father, I think my mother, I think my wife, I think my children. These are just a stage play. We're just taken some roles. We are all acting. When the drama is over, when we die, when we change bodies, then it's a whole different ball game. Today I'm a male, tomorrow in my next drama I'll be a female. Probably in the last drama we were something else. One who is actually realized, has actually attained yoga, no longer sees these bodily distinctions. So this may be a very short chapter, but it's a very powerful chapter. Right? It requires a lot of thought and realization and meditation. Just last verse I like to share from Bhagavatam, 2nd canto, 4th chapter, 2nd verse, where it mentions how this bodily identification, how it expands. Okay, here speaking about Parikshit Maharaj, how he gave up all these things. Atma jaya sutagara pashu dravina bandhusu raje cha vikale nityam. So here's Atma is the self, who we identify this human body. We are not this body, but we identify this body. From the body identification spreads one step, Jaya. Jaya means wife. Jaya. Jaya means wife. So from ourselves, a person gets married, he gets a wife. Immediately what happens? Suta. Child comes from that connection. You see how that the illusion or the Maya is actually growing, right? Then Agara, one gets a house. Then Pashu, one gets some domesticated animals. Oh, in today's age, it means your cars and bikes and whatnot. Dravina, one gets some business or bank balance. Bandhusu, one gets some friends and relatives. Rajye, one gets some society, organization, they live in some social structure, some apartment buildings, some societies, some colonies, some clans, some caste, whatever you identify with. Like that, slowly, slowly, from the self-absorption, it expands. And as it's expanding, it becomes more complicated. As it's expanding, becoming more complicated, it becomes also more difficult to give up. Right? Therefore, Maya is so powerful. So with that, we finish the study of this chapter called Yoga. Real yoga means to free oneself from duality and designation. And this is very hard because Maya is so, powerful. Therefore, we need to have jnana and vigyana. We can study, we can read, we can hear, but we need to pray for some vigyana, for some realization. And through the realization of others when we hear, and we try to meditate on this every day so that we can live in this world, like Prabhupada says, do your duty, although the mosquitoes may be buzzing. Learn to tolerate and just continue to our ultimate duty. So thank you very much. We will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki